Today on Bloom Health Club, we're talking about one of the most important health priorities of our time, protecting our brains. From simple daily habits to groundbreaking research, we'll share ways to keep your mind sharp and lower your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia so you can stay vibrant at every age.
From the Stream Center, welcome to Bloom Health Club, sponsored by Monticciolo Family and Sedation Dentistry.
Your body's command center, and how you care for it today can shape your tomorrow. Today on Bloom Health Club, we're uncovering powerful ways to boost brain health, prevent cognitive decline, and protect your memory for life. I'm Gayle Guyardo, your host of Bloom Health Club, and I am with a man known fondly as Dr. Deep Sea Scientist, Dr. Joseph Dituri. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I always appreciate being able to see you. Thank you.
We love talking about you. I've known you now for nearly a decade. We go way back. But man, you became world famous when you yourself decided to break a world record living underwater for 100 days in Key Largo.
Yep.
People from everywhere were talking about you, and a lot of what you did shined a lot of awareness on hyperbaric medicine and our brains.
That was exactly it. It's because we were treating traumatic brain injury in the hyperbaric center, and I wanted to make sure that people understood the mechanisms of action of hyperbaric medicine. So what better way to do it? Expose yourself for 100 days and do a lot of science and see what happens.
I love it. Let's talk about your incredible history before you became a scientist and when you served in our military, because you know a lot about deep sea diving and hyperbaric, just in the nature of how you served.
Oh, yeah. So I was a Navy diving officer for 28 years. I helped design and built dry combat submersible at US SOCOM here. And then after 28 years, I decided, okay, that's enough. We can do something else. And Admiral McRaven was asking me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I said, I don't know, but I don't necessarily want to go work for the government. So what else can I do? He said, hey, could you help me? 22 a day are losing their lives due to suicide. And I said, I can maybe sit on the preservation of the force and family and help you out a little bit. So that spurred me to get into fixing brains. And then they weren't doing it the right way. They were doing a lot of talking and not a lot of doing. And he looked at me and he goes, permission granted, Aquanaut, fix the problem.
Wow.
And I said, okay, I got to go back to school. So I went back to school. I got a PhD in biomedical engineering.
And here we are. And you've learned a lot along the way, including, and you and I are both, into our faith. You suffered a traumatic brain injury, and you're even in the midst of writing a book right now about how that blow in life, literally and figuratively, was actually a blessing in disguise.
The best thing that ever happened to me. So the book's called Shattered to Strong, and I'm really excited that it's in the editorial phase right now, which if you've ever written before, once you get to the editor, you can take a breath. But it's all about that journey and all about what I was doing right and what I was doing wrong, and the way that medicine, traditional medicine, has been looking at fixing traumatic. Do you know traumatic brain injury has been on the books since 1600 BC?
You're kidding.
Millennia, thousands of years. It has been literally in the books that people have gotten hit in the head and not acted the same afterwards. That is a traumatic brain injury, and we have no cure for it to this day.
That's unbelievable.
It's angering.
It is angering. It is angering. So are you seeing any hope along the way? I know that you've spent a lot of time studying hyperbaric medicine. I mean, we have old footage of me coming to visit you like 8+ years ago. You could look at the machines, and they've advanced so much. But I even had the opportunity to experience climbing into a chamber like that.
Yeah.
You're breathing in medical grade oxygen. What does it do to our bodies, Dr. Dituri?
Yeah, so it does a lot of things. Of note, it reduces inflammation, especially in the traumatic brain injury department. It reduces inflammation and neuroinflammation. And people are running around right now in systemic inflammatory response. You are just so inflamed because you're eating the wrong thing or you're doing the wrong thing or you're hurting yourself or whatever. So we want to quell that. Your body's overactive, immune system, it just goes crazy and starts throwing inflammation at you. And unfortunately, those markers are not very healthy for us long term. So what what hyperbaric oxygen does is it quells that systemic inflammatory response and gets it to chill out. And then your body can start to heal itself. So people say, what does hyperbaric oxygen cure? And I say, it doesn't cure anything. It helps your body heal itself. And that's really important to understand.
Now, you put this to the test. At the top of the show, we were talking about you living underwater for 100 days. What did you learn during that time period?
Every single inflammatory marker in my body cut in half. My sleep, so we talked about sleep earlier. My sleep, usually I sleep about 30 to 33% in deep and REM sleep. It doubled to 60 to 66% in deep and REM. So what do you do in deep and REM sleep? You relearn, you recategorize, you package things. That's the place where you do all that. And if I doubled that deep in REM, I mean, look, 70 million Americans suffer from sleep problems in the United States alone.
I'm one of them.
Right.
Without a doubt. It's so hard for me to get into a deep sleep. And you're saying hyperbaric chambers would help.
Doubles the deep and REM sleep. Doubles the deep and REM sleep. And so many people went through the same thing that I had, even the people that came to visit me just for a day or two. They're like, wow, I slept really well last night. I'm like, hey, do you have a Whoop or a tracker or a Garmin or a watch or whatever? They're like, yeah. I'm like, check your deep and REM. Oh, it doubled. I'm like, bingo.
And now, is that because of the reduction in inflammation?
I think that's, and nobody knows at this point, right?
Okay.
Because it's all new science stuff. So what we think it is, it's because of the increase of metabolism. So when you're in hyperbaric medicine, it ups your metabolism. So I wound up losing 23 pounds in the first 25 days.
With no GLP-1 drugs?
No GLP-1s, no nothing, right? Because you increase the metabolism that much. And when you do stuff like that, you had to react. So my team, you see me here, but there were 10 medical doctors, 2 psychologists, and 1 psychiatrist on the team. And they said, okay, you got to eat more. After the first weigh-in, after the first 25 days, they're like, you have to eat more. You cannot lose another pound. And
what were you eating down there?
Same thing I eat here. Look, I'm a scientist. I'm so boring. It's like I wake up in the morning, I have 4 eggs and some kind of protein in that, maybe even some cheese, 2 cups of coffee because science doesn't happen without coffee. And then for lunch, I have a salad and some protein. And for dinner, I have protein and something green. I'm so boring, but I eat the same all the time.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist, but I am boring that way. I do. I love discipline and I love living on a schedule. It's what makes me tick. I know it's not for everybody, but when I get off kilter, I feel it like almost instantaneously. And let's talk about some of the lifestyle changes that you're educating people about, even appearing on our globally syndicated health and wellness show, Bloom. You're talking about lifestyle changes of taking, brain breaks, the foods that we eat, the exercise that we should be doing. And that has a huge impact on our brain health as well.
Absolutely. And to quote an old phrase, garbage in, garbage out, right? If you eat those Doritos or you eat that sugary snack or you stop by Starbucks and get something that's, got way more calories in it than it should. Look, I drink black coffee. I'm not saying be like me, but I just drink black coffee. Why? Right. I just want to get woken up a little bit. I know it's bad. It's not perfect for me, but so you balance these things, right? But sugar is absolutely the devil. Absolutely the devil. So, you got to cut that out of your life, cut the inflammatory foods out of your life. We didn't develop to eat certain things. And when we like that whole food pyramid thing, we all debunked that myth right off the bat, right? I mean, flip the food pyramid upside down for crying out loud and eat more protein and less of the carbohydrate stuff. So.
And what about exercise when it comes to our brain health?
Oh yeah, 100%. So what you do is you increase cerebral blood flow by working out. You also release things like interleukin 15, interleukin 6, powerful antivirals, anti-inflammatories as well. But if you get that blood flow going, that's how we remove the proteins that come from I got hit in the head or the bang or the whatever, right? Any of the things that are made in your head, the only way out of your head is through the cerebral spinal fluid. So if you get the fluid flow going, keep up the hydration, and get your blood flow going, both of those things can help that cerebral spinal fluid flow come out. That's the only way we relieve tau phosphorylates, any of the proteins, anything that's in your brain has to be removed through the cerebral spinal fluid.
Now, I know you travel the globe. You just got back from the UK doing speaking engagements. What is your messaging these days?
Well, it's not much has changed. It's basically live a healthy lifestyle, right? And I try and practice what I preach. I go to the gym all the time. I create autophagy all the time. I stress myself. I get in hormesis all the time. Look, our bodies are, we basically used to get chased by saber-toothed tigers, and we don't do that anymore. So what's the worst thing that happened to me today? Somebody didn't like an Instagram post, or somebody didn't like a Facebook, right? That's the worst thing. Right. That stress? No. What we need is a hormetic stressor, right? Like an ice bath or a sauna or working out or deprivation of oxygen or over amount of oxygen. We need this change in our life so that our bodies can react and start the processes of slowing down the replication process of our cells and making them move into the protection mode.
What are your top 3 biohacking tips? Maybe things that you have in your own home right now.
Oh my goodness. In my house right now, I literally have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. No kidding, I do. I have a sauna and I have an ice bath. I purchased them. They're in my house. They're on my deck, and I use them almost every night.
You do?
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Absolutely. Well, hyperbarics is changing, right? It's changing more for the mainstream. And I use it, but I know how to use it, and I have a physician that's helping me with prescriptions and so forth. So, it's not like I'm just doing it willy-nilly, so don't go out there and just do it on your own. But learn about it, and then you can do it. And it's a really safe, really effective modality.
Yeah, I know you do really need to talk to somebody in the know, because it's individualized to each person. Like, I tried the ice bath, but as soon as my doctor saw a segment on Bloom, she's like, whoa, you have major thyroid issues. Tap the brakes on the old ice bath. You don't want to shock your body. But she didn't have any issues with a sauna or the red light therapy combined with a sauna, saying that was extremely healthy in detoxing the system.
Yep. Red light every night. I mean, look, I'm 57 years old, for crying out loud. I go to the gym all the time. I go, I drink lots of water. You gotta live that life. Otherwise, we're not going to be capable. It's not just living to 110. It's living to 110 and being mentally productive and being physically productive. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
And I think that when it comes to our brain health, so many people just think that, oh, wow, dementia, Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes. There is so much that you can do to take control of your brain health. What are some other recommendations that you have?
So absolutely. You want to check and fix your autonomic nervous system. So this is the breathing thing, right? This is that, and we've talked about this being like woo-woo. Yes, it's a bit woo-woo. However, when you take and calm everything down, while I was underwater, I decreased cortisol significantly, almost to the point where it was imperceptible, the amount of cortisol that was in my body. And what do you get when you have a decrease in cortisol? An increase in testosterone, guys. So you definitely want to just chill out and get to the point where you calm down. I have a girlfriend that tells me, look, you just need to calm down. And I'm like, I should probably listen to you more often. So.
I love that. I want to bring in Lily Oberhelman. She is our producer and directing the show today. Lily, I know you've been around the Bloom team for a long time right now, both as an intern and as a star producer with us now. Any questions for Dr. Deep Sea, as he's known so fondly?
I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. First of all, I haven't even heard of hyperbaric. How do you pronounce it?
Hyperbaric medicine.
Hyperbaric medicine until I met you. It seems like there's a lot of really interesting practices that go into that. But what do you think the most beneficial thing that comes out of that specific form of medicine would be? Is it physical or mental?
Oh, well, most of these healing modalities that we have are literally mental. I mean, when you start, look, people get better because they go on a diet. Well, you get better because you go on a diet. You're probably not getting better because of that diet. It's because you're dieting, and now you're a dieter, right? So it's the way you self-speak, right? Look, mind over matter. If you control your mind, you change your life, and that's what we need to do. So I think the best things that come out of something like hyperbaric medicine, two things: anti-inflammatory and toxin inhibition. They're two known mechanisms of action of hyperbaric medicine, but they're really important. In today's day and age, what are we drinking out of? Plastic, right? We have all of these toxins we have mercury, we have fluoride, which is a neurotoxin, by the way. I'm not trying to be political, but that is a neurotoxin. Why is it in our water? Forget it, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't understand why anything in regards to our health has been made political. I think that everybody needs to be asking the questions, and just because you've been told something does not mean that it's the truth. So I think anytime you open up these conversations, it's not about left or right or even what's in the middle. It's about just having the knowledge so you can make your own decision. Because if there's no longer fluoride in your water and you want it, you can add it back.
Feel free.
You know, there's so many different practices, but I just think it's important that we have these conversations because, quite frankly, Americans are really, really sick. I mean, chronic diseases are at just a astonishing level. It's hard to believe. And a lot of it is because of all the toxins that we're exposed to and the toxins that we're innocently putting into our bodies, not realizing, thinking our food is safe. It might be greenwashed, said it's healthy. And it's not.
It's just not.
It's just not. You know, and it wasn't until I went through major thyroid issues and I thought I was eating healthy. I thought I was doing everything right. And you go to a specialist and they look at it and they're like, get rid of this. Stop putting gel on your nails.
Oh, yeah.
So many things that we're doing to destroy our bodies. So you're saying, to answer Lily's question, that hyperbaric can cleanse some of those toxins?
Yeah, it inhibits toxins. So basically what it does is it gets the toxins to come out of the spot where they're leached into. So when it does that, you need to take a binder like activated charcoal or bentonite clay or something like that. And then you can get those removed from your body. Yeah, I mean, Brian Johnson right now, who consulted with me prior to his work on hyperbaric medicine and going and trying to live forever, right? He has seen that the toxins have been washed out of his body. I mean, that's science. It's there.
That's incredible.
Do the toxins also make you behave a certain way, and then once you have those released, suddenly you could be a new person? Because I've heard of people having serious impacts mentally from these toxins that they're constantly consuming.
Now I try and stay off of the that's absolutely going to help. So the answer is maybe, but I have personally seen people that have gone through a detox process and they are different human beings.
Wow.
And I mean that. And I'm not trying to be grandiose here, but it happens. When you do things the right way, when you've been doing things the wrong way for a long time, and then you decide to do things the right way, it's a shift, right? And it's a focal point shift, and all of a sudden things start going your way. And you're like, wow, I love this.
Yeah, it's like a new awakening. It really is. All right, we always like to take viewer questions, and we put out that you were going to be on Bloom Health Club today and got one from Sam, who wants to know, what was it like living underwater for 100 days?
I tell you, it was a very introspective journey. I had to look inside because I spent not all the time, but much of the time I spent alone while I had, teaching and lecturing very often down there. I was alone most nights, right? And that is a huge shift. So you have to look at the person that's within, and that's sometimes a little scary look. Yeah. But I breathed, I learned, I meditated, I worked on my faith, my practice, and I started going, okay, I can get through this. So,
did you have any aha awakenings? I mean, I know you learned a lot about your health and you've shared that many times on Bloom, but on a personal level, did you have any aha moments?
Yeah, it's really scary. I came to the conclusion that it's supposed to be easy. It is literally supposed to be that easy. You should be able to do things that easily. You should be able to meet somebody easily. You should be able to get along very easily. And if you're not, you're fighting like a salmon trying to go up river. But if you turn around and you go down river, maybe you'll swim with your people. Find your people. It should be easy. So let life be easy.
I love that so much, man. And I'm really embracing that. There's no doubt about it in this era. Next up, Eric wants to know how hyperbaric medicine has helped you personally.
Oh my goodness. Hyperbaric medicine has helped me personally from a job perspective, from a lifelong perspective. But for me, it was my initial go-to when I had my traumatic brain injury. So I started with that. And I realized that it just wasn't enough personally. It's not the one thing that, there is no one cure for this. So I wound up having to do many, many things at the same time. But hyperbaric oxygen has given me that lease on life, if you will.
That's awesome. All right, let's go. Next is Angie wants to know, If there is a certain age to stop drinking to support brain health, what would that be?
And 21.
Yeah.
No, it's on the books. It's hard. It's tough to make people stop drinking at this point, but it's not a good thing for you. I try and limit my own alcohol intake. Hey, look, I've had a tequila or two in my lifetime, right? It's
Same.
I'm no teetotaler. However, the less you drink, the easier it's going to be in the back end. And like you said, make a mocktail. I love those.
Yeah. If you can tune into Bloom on Wednesday, you will see that mocktail. Lily?
Speaking of toxins, we were talking about this, Gayle and I, the other day, and we think that maybe the reason why people say alcohol is so bad for you is because it's the ingredients that are used within the alcohol, but not the alcohol itself. It's the pesticides, the toxins that are going into it.
Yeah, we
Do you
were
think
thinking because they spray everything in this country, with glyphosate and and the sugars and all the different things that go in it, because people have been drinking for thousands of years. Jesus made, wine out of water. But now it's becoming so toxic. And as you scroll through social media, they're even saying, if you're going to drink wines, drink it from this region because it's not being sprayed with Roundup Ready pesticides.
So that's certainly part of it, but let's agree. Through a complex metabolic process, everything that you take in as alcohol turns into formaldehyde. The thing that we embalm ourselves with, right? It turns into formaldehyde. Every single alcohol, it doesn't matter if it's tequila or the best vodka you've ever had, turns into formaldehyde. So it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. All right, so now we know, Lily. But I still want some clean tequila, but from time to time. Now I really have cut down because as I age, to be honest with you, I don't feel well and I don't look well.
Oh, yeah.
And it might be a little bit of vanity into play here, but I just don't process it like back in the day. Yeah. Dr. Deep Sea, how do we follow you? How do we find out when your new book drops? Tell us all about it.
Well, the new book should be dropping in the next couple of months. And
what's it called?
Be great. Shattered to Strong. And it's all about my TBI journey. And it basically talks people through the hope of getting them into some kind of therapy. Because when I had my TBI, they told me all you need is a tincture of time. And I said, wait, what? A tincture of time? Is that really what you're telling me? And they're like, yeah, you just need time. You might heal, you might not, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not going to cut it for me. So you can follow me on www.drdeepsea.com or handles or Dr. Deep Sea or Google Dr. Deep Sea. But that should be coming out in the next couple of months and we'll be really excited.
Well, I'm excited for you. And again, this is a man that I have been following for a really, really long time. And I just can't tell you how proud I am to know you and how appreciative I am that you would join us on Bloom Health Club.
I'm humbled. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And hey, listen, I want to give a special shout out to Monticciolo Family and Sedation Dentistry, because without Monticciolo, we wouldn't be able to bring you this cutting edge information about your health and wellness so that you can grow in life. So once again, thank you to Monticciolo Family and Sedation Dentistry. And don't forget, you can watch our streaming show, Bloom Health Club, on Apple TV, Fire TV, Roku, Samsung TV, WFLA.com, and YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. And I will see you on the next Bloom Health Club.